Just kidding.
All right, silly. You recording these ones?
Yeah.
Both?
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Simon
Let's
down.
go.
All right, we got you pinned.
It's cool,
Silly,
it's
yeah,
cool,
man.
right
That
here?
looks way better. Oh, way better.
Sick, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Longa, you got your intro?
Yeah, so the same thing as you guys do. Just want to thank everybody for tuning to the podcast,
No, but
the
no,
Pack
but
Nation
man,
podcast.
you can like do your own, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
do whatever you want.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you got it, Deuce.
you know what I mean?
So I'm gonna do the same way y'all do it. It was like, welcome to episode. What episode are we on? Episode 9? Episode 8?
Lelo.
9.
9.
Man, but hey, thank you guys for joining in our podcast today, man. I was glad to be on the episode with you guys. So we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, so we appreciate everybody
Hello.
for coming through to the podcast, episode 9. And
All right.
Oh,
All right, good night, guys. I'm out.
oh,
Yeah,
I'll see y'all
shoot.
later.
Oh,
Night, guys.
All right,
See you guys.
guys,
Yeah.
all right.
if you ever need, if
Peace
you
out, Jake.
have the, just give me some curry
Yeah,
and
Jake,
some
kako
naan.
pero ay solid, yeah.
This brother here, right here, Jake Levale, curry and some naan.
You know, you guys got me wearing gel over here at 12:30 at night. Utah time.
So, ain't nobody told you wearing your earphone too. So,
Man.
try to get
So,
the
I
Jake,
got
hype
hyped
out,
all the
bro.
way up, Bruce.
No, let's be rude.
Can you guys
We-
hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Hey, we can
Yeah.
hear you. We just want to
Clear.
make
Can
sure
you
you're
guys
not
see
one
me?
of those Indian scammers
Yeah.
that are out there trying to steal our money, huh?
Guessed it.
Hey, Goose.
Jake, man.
This
Man,
guy.
Shoot back,
I
Jake.
like the
Shoot
setup
back.
here, guys. Wow, looks like full. Shout out to the two listeners. Let's say hello to everybody out there in the universe.
No, first I want to say is, what's going on in your background over there, dude? Why is it?
I'm
We can see
coming to you
people
guys,
back there, dog.
I'm coming to you guys live from Tooele, Utah right now.
Let's go,
Oh,
dude.
nice, Zeus.
Yeah.
Wallah.
We're out here we're working on a couple Usos pittas right now.
That's dope. So, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, like, give me 1 second. Just let me fix this camera.
So that's awesome, bro. So I ain't gonna lie, Jake. Those are some dope headphones you got going on over there, Oos.
These are the Usos headphones.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm in his office right
man.
now.
My man, dude. Let's go, dude.
Shout out to the Amosa family, the Asi family.
So that's love, Oos. Let's get
That's
it.
all.
Hey, shout out to the Amosa family, man. Shout out to the one. Can I get a one for the one time? One time?
W's in the chat, man.
Don't be using the chat, Oos. Let's go.
Malo Sisi.
Malo. Jacob.
Man. I had some since the last time I saw you.
Been a while, man.
See, can you check my camera
Yeah.
real quick? Just make sure it's good. And they're both recording, yeah?
Well, level nga makali recording adigams.
Levale.
Malo.
Malo, levalo. So,
Malo Bishop.
say love.
Malo Lava.
Malo.
KVCK telephone.
So you look like
Go,
one
go.
of those. I ain't gonna lie, Jake. You look like one of those AI characters that are flowing out on the internet right now. I ain't gonna cap, but the Indian version though.
How do you figure?
So because you look like one of those fake characters that are just moving side to side.
Is
Let's
that
go.
is that your studio, Aaron?
Yeah, this is my little setup, Oos, over here. So
I like it.
do you concur?
All right.
Do you concur,
Totally.
Oos?
Longa.
Yeah.
He's asking if that's your studio because he's never watched any of our episodes. Because that's the same studio you have since episode 1.
Hey,
Aaron's lived there
Jake,
for. Hey, what's up, sis?
last time I saw you, I remember. The last time I saw you, you came down for Xavier's setting apart, and then you saw my wife, and you're, hey, is your husband still active? And I was like, what the heck?
You gotta check in every now and then.
Yeah.
Who knows what you guys are up to down there?
Solid, but freaking, you ready to start, Oos?
I'm ready. Oh, we haven't started yet?
No, we haven't started yet, Oos.
This
Yeah,
is the soft intros.
Yeah, Oos, we
soft
just do
intro.
little clips in there, Oos. You know what I'm saying?
I used up all my good jokes already. All right, let's do it.
Okay.
No.
Hold on. Let me make sure everybody's good to go, brother.
All I got is $1 and a drink. Oh yeah. So was you gonna roll on with me?
All right, Oos. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm your boy Aaron on Pack Nation Podcast with my Usos. Sully,
I
Sully,
thought we were
what
doing
happened, dude? No, hey, Sully, I'm telling you, there's
MC
a
gonna say,
delay
I go
on here,
left.
dude.
Okay.
X go sick, I go left.
Sully, it's you. You started it, dude.
The X keeps laughing every time
I
I
know,
look at it.
dude.
That's
yeah,
it. It's good to have the gang back together. It's
The Godfather. Over to you.
Yeah, let's get it.
Mhm.
All right. Hey, guys. I'm your boy, Aaron. Welcome to the Pack Nation podcast with my Usos.
thanks.
CC.
Hey, so today we got a special guest with us today. One of the Usos down from Orange County, man. We just wanted to give him a shout out to the Uso, Mr. Jake Levale.
Aloha, kia ora, kia ora, kia ora.
Oh,
Jake.
kia ora. My man came in with the New Zealand. Let's go.
Good evening, gentlemen. Man, what a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you, brother. Thanks for joining us, Zeus.
Been a long time coming. I know I'm trying to work this out for a while, but nonetheless, grateful to be here.
Definitely, Soleil.
Good to have you, Jake.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
So welcome, man. We're so grateful that you're able to tune in on today's podcast with us, man. We're grateful to have you, man. How you been, Sully?
Been good. Been busy. Always something going on out here in Vegas.
Yeah.
So Samoan community's booming. In fact, a lot of our people are coming up from your end, CC and X.
Yeah,
But
that's what it
always
seems
something going
like.
on, man.
That's the
You know me, I
man.
always
Yeah.
got my hand in different Samoan pots. So, but been good.
That's good. So, hey, with everything going on with you right now, so like, I noticed, Zeus, I seen you were on this pageant, like a Miss USA Samoan pageant. Zeus, how's that been going?
Yeah, it was a good time. There were two separate pageants. There's a Miss Samoa Las Vegas pageant, which was a revival of a pageant they did like 15 years ago. In fact, my lovely wife participated. Shout out to my ever so beautiful wife. It's commentating from the back. But anyway, but yeah, so they brought the pageant back after about 15 years. And so that was a Miss Samoa Las Vegas. And then Miss Samoa USA is a fairly new pageant that's in Las Vegas, but contestants are from all over the United States. But the coolest thing was to see the Samoan community come out, Polynesia community, really. Had all kinds of vendors and just different communities represented. So it's definitely booming out here.
So that's awesome, man. That's cool. So you know what? It's crazy to think about where you're at in your life right now. You know what I'm saying, and where that got you to your point in life. But one thing that we like to give back to, especially in podcast, Pack Nation podcast, is giving back to the youth. You know what I'm saying, and this is definitely a opportunity to speak to you and your intelligence. You know what I'm saying, Sola? And we're grateful to have you here tonight with us, Zeus, you know, especially with X and CC there with us too, Sola. So it's a
Thanks,
great opportunity to talk to you, man.
Pleasure's all mine.
Let's go, man.
Just want to touch up on things for as far as Jake Levale. So Jake Levale is one of the Usos that we grew up with back in Orange County, Anaheim. Jake was always the one that knew how to speak fluent Samoan. You know what I mean? And so it was pretty cool seeing that. You know what I mean? And it's like until this day, right, Jake, you recently got your bell, right?
Yeah, just about 2 months ago, I want to say. May 3rd, 4th. That's when we wrapped up and we had the blessing ceremony. But yeah, to what you said earlier, CC, you're right. I mean, growing up in OC and our Orangeview days and Western days, you guys were all playing sports, and I was over there watching Flag Day videos, man. So I figured once we got to 9th grade and I wasn't getting any taller than 5'6", I thought that my life would be better served taking a different path. But yeah, as far as the peo goes, I just wrapped that up a couple months ago, and it was an arduous journey to say the least.
Yeah, dope, Oos. Thanks for looking up that word before you came on here, Oos. But yeah, Soleil.
So no, for real, because
No.
I would have to agree with X Bros. That was super cool that you came up with the vocabulary.
No, Soleil, but just to follow up with what Cici was saying, man, we all grew up together. And Jake was definitely one of the dudes, and it's very rare, I think, in the States more so than anywhere else, that younger generations is that we speak fluent Samoan, or like Jake speaks really, really good Samoan. And so it was just a blessing to have him around and be able to learn from him and not only the language but the culture. And Jake, I can attest to his knowledge and his background and being able to learn the culture, love the culture, and just being an example to a lot of younger generation of Samoans and Pacific Islanders in the States growing up that we can still learn our culture and still appreciate it from the States and be able to have that love for our heritage and where we come from. And it was a great blessing to be able to be there when Jake got his bit done. And it was such a great spiritual, cultural experience. So we was very happy to be out there when you got it done. And so I'm proud of you for doing that, Saleh, again. We're very happy and proud that you were able to be really the first one from kind of our age group to get that done, and because you deserved it. And to have seen that and been a part of it, it was a blessing. So congrats again on that, Saleh.
Man, that means a lot, Uso. Appreciate that. I almost got emotional over here.
Yeah. Don't worry,
That's
it's
good, dude.
blurry enough
That's what
where
it's for.
we won't see you tongue
How many pixels can you guys see right now?
He said it was blurred up. Oh, Xavier,
I got a
dude.
got a 1.5 gigabyte laptop I'm working off over here.
This guy,
Oh,
dude.
good. It's
So,
all
No, but
good.
that means a lot, Uso.
hey,
I
don't
mean,
talk about your friend like that, dude. We're on live TV. Come on, dude.
especially that hits home. So especially what you mentioned about how we grew up together, and I don't know. I mean, I just you guys are probably know this better than anybody else. That I was just drawn to all things Samoan. I always jokingly say that because I wasn't into sports, I took that direction, but it just was my thing, and I thought everything that had to do with our culture, and not just Samoan. I mean, this is a testament to how we grew up. Very what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, there was a lot of crossover between the Samoans and the Tongans. We shared our cultures and we stuck together in school. And so having gleaned from that and having the opportunity to serve a mission in Samoa, obviously, all those things kind of helped to bring me to where I am today. And I'm not really anybody, but I like to serve in our Samoan community, especially out here in Vegas. Now that we've been here for about 15 years, it feels good to represent and to do big events like the two pageants that we just had or whatever is going on. It kind of puts us on the map in the Vegas community. And I think the thing about it for me is it's reminiscent of how we grew up. You know, back in those days, the late 80s, 90s, even into the early thousands with Samoan Flag Day and all the events we had going on. That was before the mass exodus from California when a lot of our people were moving here, moving to Utah. And so we had those community events to look forward to growing up, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's what is so fulfilling for me to be a part of what's happening now in the Vegas community. That shift from Southern California, which was once our one of our traditional gathering places, coming from the islands. Hawaii was one of the stopping grounds. California to Washington. Now Vegas is one of those places, and so it's cool to see almost history repeat itself. But now we're the generation that's where our parents once were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no,
Um,
so that's well said, Oos. I mean, it's cool, man. Seeing it from your perspective and getting your take on what you were able to see and as you grow up from your days in Cali. So even though it took us 2 weeks to get you onto the podcast, but so as long as the viewers know in the comments, tap us, let them know what you think about Jake Levale. But other than that, so we're so grateful that you're able to be on the podcast tonight, Oos, and your input, so and the one question that I kind of want to give out to you, especially for the youth, is so at some point in your journey or your career that you're at right now, what inspired you to choose that career path that you're on right now? So,
you mean my full-time job as
yeah, full
a
time job. Yeah, yeah. It was,
well,
Or you
so
could talk a little bit about what you're doing out in Utah, Oos, and also like even with the
yeah,
translation of the
yeah.
hymns, you know,
Thanks,
whatever
X.
you
yeah,
want to
maybe
talk
I'll
about.
focus on that. Well, it all kind of ties in together. I mean,
Yeah.
for the listener out there, work for Paul Mortuary out here in Vegas. Shout out to Palm. Been there about 5 years now, but to your question, I COVID happened. I was working for the airlines at the time, and I we took kind of like a mandatory leave because everything was shutting down. And so that's back when everybody was on the unemployment and that, and I got tired of sitting around at home after the first few months. So I thought might as well try a funeral home. And again, you guys know very well growing up, anytime there was a funeral in the ward or in the community, especially after Brother and Aaron and I started taking piano lessons and playing for the church, we're always at a funeral, it seemed like. So it felt fitting to, and especially during COVID when things were just crazy and death was everywhere and people we were losing people left and right. I thought it might be a rewarding career to work at a funeral home. But it's cool in that I'm a funeral service director. So basically, the guy who drives the hearse and takes the loved ones to their services and off to their burial or whatever their final disposition is. But they give me deference for all the Polynesian services. So if there's a Tongan funeral or Samoan funeral or even a Fijian funeral every once in a while, they ask that I work because I'm part of the community. And the same goes for like Asian coworkers that I have or Hispanic coworkers. They tend to work the funerals of their community members because they know the culture, they know the customs. So to the cultural aspect of it, that's what's cool to me about I call it my full-time job, but I'm taking more of a part-time recently, which is a good segue into what I'm doing now. Like X mentioned, stretching for Su'avili Pa'ama of Lupe Fa'alele Malofie. He's the one who blessed me with my tau a couple months ago.
Shout him
And
out,
he's
dude.
based
Shout
right
him
out
out.
of
Shout him out.
Las Vegas. So shout out to Lupe Fa'alele Malofie. Any of you here in the United States who are looking to take that journey, do your due diligence, but please hesitate to look into Lupe Fa'alele. I would highly recommend him. And I don't only say that because I work for them, but I would trust him with any of my loved ones. But yeah, so I crossed paths with Sue about 5 years ago after having gone to work for the funeral home. It's about the time I got into the Kava community. Shout out to Kalapu Las Vegas. But again, it was at a time where there wasn't much to do. We had a lot of time on our hands, and I was always one of those skeptics when it came to the Kava community, especially the bad rep it gets from guys being out all night and going every night of the week and things like that. But after having been introduced to it by my brother-in-law, I saw there was a big emphasis on community, family, at least within our Kalapu here in Las Vegas. And I know the same goes for a lot of Kalapus around the world, really. But that's where I crossed paths with my brother Su'a. And about 2 years ago, I joined him as a koso. So as a tattooist, he needs people to stretch and move the skin about. So it's ideal for his tattooing. And I also serve as his tafalimau or his order, especially when he travels like we're doing right now.
And that's dope, Boost. And it was cool, man, to be able to see that process in person and then kind of see that the different roles. 'Cause that was the first time that I saw it. And like it's such a cultural experience and spiritual experience is to see what goes into it and all the efforts of different people and just the ceremony as well. It's just a complete spiritual process and it makes it even more special because it's our own culture. And that's what I loved about it so much and just made me proud is to see you kind of go through that whole ordeal. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy, man.
Let me
From
tell you,
what
Soli.
you, yeah, but it was a great experience to be able to see that.
Hey, Jake, I have a question, bro.
Go for it, brother.
So as far as tattooing, right? So this is kind of a topic that we've kind of been talking about other cultures. You think we should bring it up right now?
Yeah,
Other
let's do
cultures,
it. You can always edit it out.
other cultures, or other people of other ethnic backgrounds who get Pacific Islander tattoos or tribal Pacific Islander tattoos. You know what I mean? Like if the Miko guy just randomly got a Samoan tattoo just out of the ordinary, and then you got the ones who actually have connection to Polynesians or like Pacific Islanders who get it, right? Like that type of thing. Like, what are your thoughts on that? On like just that in general.
Yeah, that man, good question. First of all, I know that's probably ever since there have been the modern, I guess tribal is what they call them, tattoo. There's been this debate, right? And I feel like there are two quintessential Samoan tattoos at the end of the day, and that's how and the malu. And anything outside of that is while it pays homage to our traditional tattoo, as long as those motifs aren't mimicking the Samoan tattoo being the pe and the malu, I don't see too much of an issue with it. But then there's that issue of where do we draw the line of now we're taking these motifs that do belong to like a sacred tradition of ours, and we're using them in more modern tattoos, or not even just tattoos, designs or what have you. And then you have people of other ethnicities who are embracing them, but not really understanding the depth and how the meaning to these motifs, even though they're not being used in the traditional sense. So I, I I can't say I have an opinion, I guess, either way. Again, what it boils down to me anyway, is as long as they're not making a mockery of the traditional Samoan tattoo, that being the pe or the malu, I don't have too much of an issue with it. But again, if we're not, at the same time, if we're not protective of what's ours, then you'll see those patterns out there and being claimed by other groups and things like that. And then I think that would be something that we would regret, right? But so
Yeah.
but the question I guess is, where do we draw the line? When is it okay and when is it not? So basically, I took your question and I answered your question with the same question.
Great answer, Oos. Sounds like we're back in high school.
No, thanks, Jake. Man, no, that was yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
that's
Sorry, that might have sounded confusing. I felt like I was going
no,
in a
no.
circle, but you know what I mean? It's
No,
like,
Got you 100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I think that's
certain
a perfect.
what was that it?
No, I think that's a perfect response, Oos.
Mm,
It's like we can't really hold it back. We can't gatekeep it as far as the designs, because as much as like I I dislike seeing Polynesian Pacific Islander tattoos on people that are not Pacific Islander, it's like one, I don't know who they are and I don't know their background. Maybe they grew up in
right.
Samoa or maybe they grew up in islands. I don't know. So that's why it's like, okay, I gotta check myself for a bit. But when there is cases where it's just people that just get it because it looks cool, they don't understand the meaning. That's when it's kind of like, man, it kind of sucks. But
Definitely.
really, there's nothing that we can do. That's just our own opinion. But I
Right.
do feel backing what you said, Jake, is with the Be'a and the Malu, those two are for sure untouchable, man. Like
Hmm.
those ones, and it's not like everyone's walking around with it, but if you see someone and for sure know that they're not of that background, then it's like, nah, what's that? That shouldn't be correct. Those two
Right.
tattoos are very, very sacred,
Yeah,
and
sacred. Yeah.
yeah, the ones
Definitely.
that are kind of off limits to sharing outside the culture, I believe, and I think that's what you said as well, Jake.
Yeah. And it's interesting to your first point, X, like how you said you don't know a person's background or story. I think that's what makes the debate of so much of a touchy one, as far as like Polynesian tattoos and even the bit on the Malu for those who aren't of someone that may have gotten it, is that I can't remember where I heard this, but I remember hearing somewhere or reading somewhere that as Samoans and as Polynesians, we're different from other cultures in that we adore people who immerse themselves in our culture. We're very welcoming. Case in point, when a Palangi LDS missionary comes to Samoa or Tonga and learns the Samoan language or Tongan language, we're never not amazed by it. And I'm sure anybody of any culture will be amazed by a Palangi speaking their language. But to us, we're not only amazed, but it endears us to them. It's like this person took it upon themselves to learn, took time to learn our culture, to learn our ways, our language, and we appreciate it. That might not be the same for, like, say, Russia or whatever cultures who might be more protective of their culture, might not be as inviting outsiders to their cultures. We're the exact opposite of that. We love when people learn our culture, they learn our language. And so I know this wasn't the question, but I'm sure it was probably going to come up at some point. As far as outsiders getting the Be'a or the Malu, I think what it really boils down to is how much of our culture they've ingrained in themselves. Because you see guys like that, people who might have served missions or even like Peace Corps, who have gone to the islands and learned the culture and learned the language, and they're very much grafted into our society. We adopt them into our culture, and they're even adopted into respective families. And
Right.
so people like that, how can we tell them that they're not worthy of one of our highest
Yeah.
messina or
Yeah.
treasures when they've gone through all of the the grit and all the blood, sweat, and tears it takes to really
Right.
learn our culture.
That's cool. That's a cool perspective coming from you, who has the belt, and then you also work with and everything. So that's cool to hear that coming from you. But talking about the belt and everything. So with Samoans who want to get the belt, growing up, I always saw that it was like that's for the Chiefs and that's for the Mackays and stuff to get the belt. But then, like more recently, especially after you got it, Jake, it kind of gave me hope. Like, oh man, I know I don't speak fluent Samoan, but I feel like I would love to get the belt. I am Samoan. I love my culture. I may not know fluently the language, but I serve my people the best that I can. I love everything about the community, the culture, our heritage. So, what is it that you would say makes somebody worthy of getting the Samoan tattoos, and the malu?
Mm. Good question, X. It all boils down to service. What I think what's become like a big misconception nowadays is, like you mentioned in your question, X, that a lot of us thought that you had to be a chief or hold a title in order to receive the pe'a. Whereas in reality, anciently, the pe'a was like a prerequisite to be able to render service in the Palumatai, in the House of Chiefs. And so you couldn't even step foot in there to serve the kava, serve the ava, or do all of the other things that are fuakong or whatever they're doing during different Falabalaga and Fongo and stuff. You wouldn't even be allowed to step foot in that house unless you had one. And so it's like a prerequisite to that path of service. In Samoa, we say oleala i le pule, oleala i le pule. Yeah, oleala i le pule o le tautua, meaning the pathway to leadership or authority is through service. And so it's almost like a test of your endurance. In fact, not almost, it's very much a test of your endurance. Like one thing that I love that Suavili, my uso who's stretching
Yep.
under it right now, always says to the people who come to be tattooed is, if you can do this, there is nothing, no form of service that you cannot undertake. And what people, I think, and another thing he says is what people sometimes overlook in the journey that is getting your pitta. It's very much it's a physical, what you call it? It's a physical test, no doubt, but it's a test of your mind, of your spirit, of your emotions. You will be at your lowest at some point throughout your pitta journey. And so he says, why else would somebody put themselves body through this pain and torture if it weren't for their love for our people and our culture and for Samoa?
Yeah.
And so to dispel that misconception, you didn't have to be titled. You didn't have to necessarily be somebody of rank. You just had to have a heart willing for service.
Yeah.
And that service comes in a lot of different forms nowadays. For those of us who are raised abroad, we maybe our families are a little bit more stable and we're in a financial position to be able to contribute back home, different things, and kind of like raise our family status in that sense. That's a form of service. And so would qualify you for for the
Mm.
tatau, or the malu. But what I tell folks is also don't forget, especially with the Songhai Miti, there are certain responsibilities that come with that. Like you have to know the traditional way to divide up a pig and where certain parts, who gets certain parts. You got to know how to fola sua or proclaim the different parts of a sua when a sua is being offered during. So there are definitely like specific responsibilities and roles and
Yep.
responsibilities. But again, I tell people, because you've put your body through and your mind through hell and back, then there really is no excuse why you wouldn't be able to learn those things. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Like you're taken down to the depths. Nothing is too hard now. That's how I
Right.
feel. Like I had to take a CE a few weeks after I got my pen. Whereas usually I do a lot of preparation and I try to do like
Yeah.
some studying, especially about where the family's from. This time, I don't know, it's just that new sense of confidence. I felt like just a few months ago, I was in hell,
Right.
and
Right.
I walked through that and came back, and I was able to do that. So now nothing is too intimidating, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But yeah, so to your question, so I feel like I would encourage anybody who's looking into taking that journey one thing that Sue always says is what qualifies you is if you have 0.001% Samoan blood running through your veins, you have the right to wear the.
Mm.
And that coupled with your willingness to serve your family, whatever capacity that might be, is what I would say qualifies you for receiving it.
Yeah, that's dope, Boost.
So that was beautiful, bro. Beautiful explanation of the culture. So it kind of almost
Excuse
brought
me.
me back to the Maury days. It was whereas you are the father. You put it right on the spot, so we appreciate your take on the culture, especially with you getting your son Mickey. So there's a back to you, Excuse my bad. I just wanted to
Oh,
clarify
no,
that.
you good. I pulled something out from the archives. Zeus, like
All
check
right.
it out, so like the
Really?
hey,
Why
this
you
is
do
for
that,
all
dude?
the
Come on.
viewers,
Come on.
man.
Yeah,
There it
Come
is,
on,
right
man.
there.
Man, fun
that's
fact
some
about
Right.
that picture, I'm standing on a step stool.
Hey, fun. Same thing. It's like I had a hairline at one point, but now that's
You
look
know
like
what, X,
Caillou over there. I'm
Would you mind throwing
Caillou.
that picture up one more time so we can examine that hairline a little bit closer?
Yeah, it's a
Hey.
went
Well,
from
have a
up
look at
here
that.
to down here.
Oh wow. Wait,
man.
look at my hairline, guys. Look at my
You still
hairline.
had some hope
Hey,
there.
everybody in the comment, look at my hairline, but then look at Slumdog Millionaire over there. Who wants to be a millionaire? Look at him right over there.
Oh, so late.
Yeah.
Oh
If
my
you look at that
God.
picture, there
Yes,
was still some hope for the hairline.
there was,
And
Zeus,
about
there
eight
was.
months after that, it was just off the rails from there.
Yeah, guys. I'm so sorry. I might have been messed up on the hairline, but if you can see, do you guys remember The Simpsons when he'd walk into Apu's? Yeah, that's him right there. This guy that we're talking to right now.
What a dry guy.
Like,
Solid,
you
man.
guys, you guys are crazy, man. Oh my gosh.
It would have been funny if we had a Relic on here too, man.
Come
Oh
on,
Just
man.
like
just
Has
come
telling
on,
Relic
things,
bro.
but
Call him. Just call him.
has
Hop on,
has
bro.
Hey,
has Relic guest
call him
appeared yet?
randomly. Call him randomly.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah, he
hey,
was
X, just
on.
call him, bro. Yes.
Yeah, that was funny, bro.
Has Relic made a guest appearance on the cast?
Yeah,
Oh
he jumped on.
man.
That was funny. It's,
I thought he went to go
he,
represent the Aboriginal delegation for shout out to Relic, man.
shout
That's
out
my
to
boy.
Relic,
Hey, shout
man.
out to
Hey, Jake,
What's up, Wusso?
I have a question that I asked on X a while back, and it's about the Chiefs when the Makai speak, right? Like, for example, at X's wedding, you spoke, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then another man spoke, right?
Yes.
Or another chief. Was that the Makai from Low side that spoke?
Yeah, there
think
are different ones,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have to like go back and forth
Okay.
because like there's
Mhm.
someone that from the church as well, right, Jake?
Right.
Like it could be representatives from the families or the church or whoever is there.
Hmm.
and,
Yeah.
hey, so
To
like
break
Jake,
it
is it
down,
meaning like a thank you or we're just curious, Zeus?
that's
Hold on,
pretty
everybody
much.
keep talking while he's trying to answer. Hold on, Jake. Let's just keep talking while you're trying to answer.
Oh, all right. You guys ready or?
Yeah. So sorry. I guess we all have ADHD at some point in our lives. Just come on.
No, so to break it down, yeah, that okay, hold on. What's up, guys? I'm trying to think of the big words that I
That's
want
the
to use for
question.
this portion of the
Sorry,
show.
Jake. Sorry, Jake. So my question is, Jake, my question is, how many chiefs can speak? Like just using X's wedding as a template, like how many
Yeah.
chiefs can speak at that wedding?
Okay, gotcha. So that's a good example also as far as wedding setting. What usually happens, even if the wedding is not what you hear a lot of times, no Fasamoa, there's always going to be at least this bit of the Fasamoa. Because at its most basic element, it's about giving and reciprocating respect. And so what happened at X's wedding was X and Lo had asked me to speak on behalf of the two families in offering a speech of thanks to everyone who attended the wedding, the gifts and just for attending and accepting the invitation. And so after the family gives that speech, the Samoan culture really is a lot of formal speech giving. And I always say like Samoan culture, the beauty of the Samoan culture is in words, is in its like oratory, in its poetic like speech making and things like that. Whereas the Tongan culture is similar, but it's beautiful also visually because you guys have a lot of koloa and things that you give during funerals and weddings, and so it's visually appealing. Whereas in the Samoan culture, unless you're you've got at least a basic understanding of that chief's language, that hyperbolic language that they use during formal speech making. You really can't. Anyway, going back to the wedding setting, the family would offer a formal speech to thank all of the guests. And then the guests will deliberate amongst themselves in offering speech of thank you on behalf of everyone to the family for the food, the feast, and extending the invitation. So it's a lot
That's
of
what
back and
they're
forth.
talking about amongst each other is like who's gonna say thank you.
Exactly. So it's called what they call a fatau.
Dang.
And usually what happens is as soon as the representative of the family finishes their speech, the first chief to get up does what they call langal fakau. He opens the debate. And in a modern setting, it's usually the chief who belongs to the church that that family belongs to. So, for example, you and Lo were in the same Samoan ward, or was it two Samoan wards at the time?
Still, it was already one.
It was already one, right? Yeah. So since you belong to the same church, Ty from your church would have gotten up to open that debate. And
Mm.
then he asks all of the other chiefs who are present for their permission or their blessing so that he can speak on their behalf. Now it gets a lot more complicated than that. Like it goes all the way to different connections like Upolu, Sava'i, you have Tumua and Pule, and then in American Samoan, Tutuila and Manua, you have Tama Matua and To'oto'o. These are all different orator groups or talking chief groups. So there's a specific way that debate happens so that all of those groups, different parts of Samoa are represented. But to simplify that, in a church setting, they step away from the traditional protocol and they do it based off of within the church, rankings in the church. So, for example, in an LDS ward, maybe the elders quorum president will get up, or one of the bishops' counselors will get up. Not so much the bishops' counselors anymore. Back in the day, it was kind of like that. But somebody in a priesthood leader in the ward would be the one to get up and start it off. And the same goes for the Kaiki church, whether it be Ki'akongo, and so on and so forth. But that's basically all it is. It's a back and forth. It's a deliberation. I call it a battle of wits, because the most cunning chief who's got the best use of like proverbs and metaphors and things like that, and knows the different histories and genealogies, that's the one who's going to win that debate and offer the speech.
That's crazy, bro.
Interesting.
And who decides in that setting, like who wins? Like, what if somebody don't want to lose, or like how does it work?
So I've seen that before. It's generally it plays out to where like modern times, it's always pre-decided. So like the church elders will usually get together and somebody will say, okay, we've picked so and so to offer our speech. So even if they get up to open that debate, it's all ceremonial. Everyone knows that this guy was like pre-selected, if that makes sense. So they're just getting up to offer their blessing. Now there are times where certain talking people open the patao or that debate, and maybe three or four other chiefs get up, they'll all offer the blessing, but there's one guy who just does not want to give in. And so they'll go back and forth as long as it takes. Now, when I was growing up, and this is part of the thing that really caught my interest in culture, is because I can remember very young, and we all went through it, right? We were sitting at a funeral during the lauava or the eating afterward, all these guys going at it. It's fascinating. I loved how they could command the room. No matter what was going on, the hustle and bustle that is one Falave or a traditional Polynesian wedding funeral, what have you. All of that immediately touched as soon as it. That was kind of like what sparked my passion for the culture. But there are debates where they'll go at it, and so usually it's entertaining. And that's why I say the more cunning use of words you have, and the more you can like, what's the better way of words you have, the better chance you have at overcoming this other guy in the debate. But to the listeners or the spectators, it's entertaining because you see these two guys with all this knowledge going back and forth, trying to outshine one another. But a lot of times it does gets belligerent. You get guys who just don't want to give in. They start using more vulgar words, profanity and stuff like that.
Oh,
I've
dang.
even seen it come to blows.
Oh,
Um,
sheesh.
and at that point, usually, and there's a check and balance, right, in culture. And so when it gets to that point, because there's a certain point where they say, umi whaakau o le mamalu vo'i na it's lengthy, it goes back and forth, it's more dignified. That means that it's been such a beautiful occasion that neither one of these two chiefs want to give up. They want to be the ones to speak for everybody. That's how much they appreciate what has happened, whatever is going on. But if it comes to the point where they refuse to give in, the high chief steps. So once the high chief speaks, these two talking chiefs have no room to uh, argue back. So I va kulole le li wa vevela whakau o whaalava lole o le li he stepped in and said, yeah, malolo mai kula whale o lela ko o li deso. Meaning, you talking chief, keep it arrest. The, the high chief staff is going to represent for the day. Yeah, a lot of intricacies like that to our culture.
Jake, so let me ask you this. What you just explained, is this done in like weddings, birthdays, graduation parties, or it's just like certain
Oh yeah,
ceremony, like and everything?
it's no matter the occasion. In
Yeah.
fact, and so this is kind of like where we see that shift from our parents' generation, who were like either born in Samoa and at a very young age came over, or they were born here, but their parents had recently migrated from the islands. So they had the best of both worlds. They had this strong upbringing in the culture because their parents had migrated so recently to the islands and it was still fresh within them. They also were raised just like us here in the United States. So they were exposed to all the modernity. But when you get down to our generation, now we have our parents who like they're leaving, right? They've seen the culture in action, they were exposed to it. Some of them might have been going strong, but a lot of our parents were just trying to make ends meet. And so sacrifice the culture or in order to ensure a better future for them. But then you have people like within our generation who when they see things like this happening, all it is two old guys yelling at each other.
Yeah.
There's no
Hmm.
semblance as to what the importance of what's going on here. And that's because our chiefs tend to command the room. They speak very forcefully, very directly. But if you really break down the words they're using, everything they're saying is out of love, right? Because they're looking to offer thanks and praise to the family for whatever occasion is going on at the moment. But but again, there's that disconnect. I've even heard it. I was attending a funeral one time, and yeah, the two Matai were going at it, and one of those football players said, "Man, what's going on with these two guys? They sound like they're fighting over there." Okay, and it does sound like that, but that's because a lot of things get lost in translation because they're speaking in the hyperbolic Steve language. But honestly, I forgot what the question was.
No, it's just the question was like the thing that you were talking about right now, as far as like chiefs going back and forth, was that does that happen at every function, like funerals,
Oh
weddings,
yes, but yeah.
birthdays, graduation? Yeah.
So you have that's where I was getting at. Sorry. So and then you have a generation where when we have gatherings and we have functions, we tend to move away from that. We don't expect it. And I can see the opposite side of the coin here. Like a lot of people feel like it's superficial. It's like hollow words. There's no meaning. Just looking for the lafo, which is a big part of it too. For every speech that's given, there's usually what's called a lafo, which is like a not a payment, but like a token of appreciation in response to the that was made. So back in the days, it was a fine mat. Being that we're here in we're abroad now, we use whatever currency, like a U.S. dollar, and so people feel like it's become more of a fighting for that envelope that comes with the speech rather than the dignity that comes with the right to speak. But so a traditional Samoan function, no matter what it is, a birthday party, a graduation, I always say it almost doesn't feel Samoan when you don't have someone get up to do a whakapai,
Right, right.
thank you. Uh, just depends. If it's a more intimate gathering, it's just your family and your brothers and sisters, because we always say, "Elela unga liuso, liuso." You would never offer a formal speech to your own brother. It's like putting on airs for one brother, own family, own blood. But if it's something where big enough to where there's like outsiders involved, people from church, outside friends and family, those
Mm.
occasions would call for people like that.
Right, right.
So that's awesome, Moose. Hey man, so like, well, dude, we appreciate you, especially your intake on the culture and especially like answering Cece's questions. So, like, one thing that I wanted to touch base was for the youth too. So, is you're still pretty a young adult yourself, even though you're married and you have kids. But so, like, what kind of inspired you, or what advice would you give to the youth that are wanting to do or follow in the same footsteps that your path is on right now with being in the high chief or the Makai culture?
My first piece of advice is always seek out within your family first. Whoever the elder is in your family or the Matai is within your family, because those within your own family will have that sense of not holding back. Because there's a lot of that too in the culture. Sometimes you'll seek out knowledge from a real esteemed Matai or talking chief. A lot of times they'll hold back because they don't want to get let go of more than what they need to at risk of you being a more knowledgeable orator. And it's just common practice. But in your own family, there isn't that whole holding back, withholding. So always start within your own family first. Then there's so many resources. Like when we're coming up, the internet was still relatively young. I think we had Google and stuff like that, but it wasn't as vast as it is now. So outside of like grandma, who was really the the one who instilled all of this from day one. But outside of like my own elder in my family, there really weren't a lot of resources as far as studying up on our culture and reading like history and background. But now, man, the resources are endless. You get on Google or whatever search engine and you do your due diligence and really dedicate time and focus, you can learn a lot. But you should also always take things, obviously, you can find on the internet with
Yeah.
and verify, fact. People put things out there all the time, but that still doesn't take away from the fact that there's a lot and a lot of good resources out there that you can learn about your culture. But always look within home first.
Yeah.
There's one in every family. The keepers of like the family history and the family stories and the traditions and things like that. So that would be my biggest piece of advice.
So,
There's
hey,
really no excuse anymore not to learn it because there's so many ways to go about it now.
hell yeah, man. Hey, so well, we definitely appreciate that, man. Especially for the youth, who's some young men or that are out there that want to pursue this. You know what I'm saying? It's a good opportunity to hear your point of view, and especially with the schooling and the scholar type of person that you are. You know what I'm saying? The youth would definitely appreciate that for you and Harold back in your days in college. So we appreciate everything that you've done for for the youth. So, but let's go.
You freaking whammed. Say, hey, I was gonna
Longa,
say,
Like who's Harold?
Longa,
Harold and
who
Kumar.
who is
Oh my God. I just barely got it. Oh my gosh. I just got it.
you
Dude,
bald son of a
he
gun.
is setting you up, bro. This guy, dude.
Hey, I was gonna say, what the hell are you talking about schooling, dude? I went to Western High School. I got no degree in nothing.
Oh,
Shit.
he's so lit.
No,
hey guys.
my bad, dude. Who's had to throw that one in there, dude? Come on, man.
Oh my gosh, it's a good
Shoot.
one.
Yeah,
Man,
this dude spent the last 15 minutes setting you up, bro.
Plotting his idea.
He didn't listen to
hey,
nothing you
Yeah.
said this whole 20 minutes. It was this guy was just like,
hey.
Harold and Kumar, Harold and Kumar.
I was over there talking Samoa history 101. This guy's like, okay, what's a movie with the Indian guy in it that I can compare him to?
Okay, I already said Slumdog Millionaire. What's my next Indian guy movie?
Hey,
I
no, I ain't gonna
freaking
lie, man. That
whammed,
was
dude.
no, you redeemed yourself. I ain't gonna lie, brother. You know what? You redeemed yourself.
Sorry, Solid. No. Solid, but
Yeah,
Jake, no,
no,
for real though.
Solid, you got some nerve over there looking like an overweight Goldberg, okay?
Oh, dang.
Solid, wait, I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out if you were talking to me or was I talking to that squirter nose that you got over there from the side of the views. Come on now, dog. What the heck? You got me effed up, Boost.
Hey, Jake, Alonga, Jake and Aaron, do you guys talk like on a daily or just like once in a while?
Maybe once every 3 weeks, Zeus.
But yeah, that's kind
Nah,
of normal
Solid.
though, huh?
Maybe
Like
once a
brother
week, Boost.
relationships, brother relationships. You guys
Once a
just kind
week.
of do your own thing, huh? Like brothers. Just,
Yeah, I just, man, you know what? Especially with my brother Aaron, I know he's cool. He's stable. He's not wanting for nothing. So The less I can hear from him, the better. No, I'm just
No, it's only, but for real though, it's like Jake said, I mean, it's funny, because my wife said this too. It's like she goes, dude, when you're around Jake, it's different. You guys just crack up all the time. But that's real,
Yeah.
because when I'm around Jake Sully, we always do this little game, Moose, where I tell him, all right, Sully, no English, straight Samoan, Moose. Obviously, he's gonna win all the time, Moose.
Yeah.
But me, I struggle with that, Moose. But Sully, we just be cracking jokes most of the time. Moose. It's love, Moose.
It's good though.
Yeah.
Like back in high school, bro, like I would feel more comfortable speaking Samoan with Jake and Killa because those two, I mean, Jake knows everything, but Killa's Samoan is pretty good
yeah, he was real
as
good.
far as
Yeah,
like
that's right.
conversational. And so I would feel most comfortable with those two because I knew like I could say whatever, even if it wasn't grammatically correct, like
Yeah.
Right,
they
right.
wouldn't like clown me for it. But yeah, I think that's like one of the hardships, especially with like American born Pacific Islander generation, is trying to learn the language, but then getting like negative reactions from people like,
Ridiculed and yeah.
yeah, like, man, you guys don't know, like, well, sorry, we didn't get it spoken to us freaking when
Yeah.
we were
Right.
kids.
Sorry, I
Like,
wasn't out there whacking weeds with a machete.
so it's all like, as much as we'd love to know the language, we can't teach it to ourselves in that manner. Like
Right.
now, like Jake said, there's the resources. So yeah, it's a little bit easier, but
Yeah.
even as far as like a wide nationwide or like a common language that's found on like apps and stuff, like
Yeah. We're
not
still
very
not
common,
quite there.
still
Yeah.
not there yet with the
Yeah.
Samoan language. But I think there's more resources. So yeah, it's easy, it's more opportunities to learn. So hopefully we can. But I definitely want to say to the youth is to like don't get discouraged by other people of your culture.
Mm.
It's never like a negative thing trying to learn your culture.
Right.
Whether you're half Samoan, whether you're full Samoan, born in the States, it's always a positive to love your culture and try to learn anything from your culture. And anyone who like is negative about you trying to learn or trying to speak, for me, it's like it's kind of dumb, man. Like why you putting our own people down
Right.
when we've all had different circumstances that have led to where we are in life and but if we have the love for the culture, that should be enough. If willing to learn it and willing to understand. So
Definitely. That's the thing about our people. We're very, I mean, we're a testament to that. Our sense of humor and kind of like we can only be serious for a certain amount of time before we have to have some sort of comedic yeah, some sort of comedic relief. But yeah, and the same goes for our people back in the islands. They're very lighthearted and never take yourself too serious. That's one thing I learned about living in Samoa on my mission. Never take yourself too seriously. But yeah, it's hard because we like to. I think it's in our nature to poke fun and to
yeah.
point out each other's faults. And even though while most of the time it's coming from like a place of like loving jest, it's still piercing to us who are trying to learn, have that want to learn, and it just feels like we're being ridiculed. But I always tell people because I think because I was so interested in it from a young age, I want to say I was started really learning how to read and write Samoan when I was like maybe 9 or 10, and because I was still a kid, when I would get picked on or made fun of by like the other Samoan kids, the kids who just came from Samoa, kids like who spoke fluent Samoan within their own households. I was still a kid, so it hurt your feelings for a little bit, and then you move on. But for a lot of people, it wasn't until like that formative, like teenage years, where you're understanding more, and you're understanding your identity. You're a Samoan, and you're trying to learn the language, things like that. Where when you get made fun of for trying, it hits a little harder. And then you tend to like not so much traumatize you, or maybe it does traumatize you, but it makes you not want to pick it back up again, because of the way you felt getting made fun of or getting ridiculed. I always tell people once you get past that, it's inevitable because of our nature as Samoans and as
Mm.
Polynesians. But once you kind of get past the whole initial, like, okay, haha, yeah, 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 but I'm really trying to learn, you know what I mean? Then it's not that as it's not as intimidating or as difficult as you might have once thought. Like the Uso that we're working on right now, served his mission in Guatemala. So he speaks second language, and we're talking about how like, or was it someone else? But anyway, I was talking with somebody who served the Spanish speaking mission, and they said once you've learned a second language, it does make it easier to kind of get back in touch with your own language. Uh, Learn things like syntax and grammar and like the markers, tense markers, and things like that. And so you go back to your own language, and it's like, okay, now it's a little bit easier to make sense. So I guess that'd be a good question for you, Alex. Have you found that? Because I know your someone's gotten a lot better when we were kids. Is it that because you learned another language, or you went and learned Spanish, or
I think
just
one
got
is
older
because
and
that, yeah, so having learned a different language, and even with CC too, learning Spanish,
oh, that's right. I always forget.
lives. He's in the Samoan ward as well, and he's picked up a lot of Samoan. But I think for me, the even bigger impact has been because my wife speaks fluent Samoan.
Hmm.
So with her, I could just ask her like, "Hey, what's the word for this?"
Mm.
or "How do you say this?" Or it's kind of someone that I'm comfortable with being
Right,
not as fluent a speaker, and someone I know that will help me because she wants me to get better too.
right, right.
And so I think that's kind of why one thing that's helped me, along with learning Spanish as well, because like you said, it's the grammar principles, little things that you understand about learning a language and how structure is put together. And so that kind of helps. But I think it's just a matter of me really fully embracing the learning aspect of it
Hmm.
and kind of diving into it because it's just been little by little over the years, just kind of like, oh, how do you say this? Or I've heard that word a lot of times. What are they saying? And instead of really fully embracing the learning aspect of it and kind of
Right.
diving into the details of the language. But it's a beautiful language, man. I love Samoan, and
Yeah, for
we
sure.
did set a goal
Mm.
to learn Samoan. So
That's right.
yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
we can meet that goal.
Yeah. Just want. Wait. My bad. Long. We gonna say something?
No, go ahead. It's do you.
He's
Yeah.
still thinking of another Indian movie, so go ahead.
No, Jake. Man. That's really cool what you said, and I agree, man. Because like it's true because my siblings and I, when we grew up speaking Tongan, so Tongan was our first language,
Mm,
and then we lost it in elementary, and then I mean not like completely, but like we
yeah,
spoke a little and understood still 100%. And then like you said, like when I went on the mission, right, I learned Spanish. It was easier for me to learn Spanish because I had to
right,
know Tongan. You know what I
right.
mean? And like that was always like a not a stereotype, but like something known amongst Polynesians, like especially the ones from like Samoa, Tonga. They were the fastest learning like Spanish speakers because they already know the language.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then our like our accents like it's pretty. It sounds pretty native because like we're
Yeah.
pretty good at mimicking
Mhm.
other accents. You know what I mean?
The vowels are the
Yeah.
same.
The vowels
Yeah,
are the
the about
same, man.
exactly. In fact, that's I remember what the I was talking with also Sam, who's getting his A done right now, but he was talking about how when he went to the MTC, he could read Spanish very proficiently because our vowels are the same, and it's just a matter of like rolling the R's and other accents or whatnot. But they'd ask him if he already spoke Spanish, and he explained that well, because in our language we have the same vowels, and our language is pretty phonetic. It's easier to pick up. So that's interesting you brought that up. To your other point, that always struck me in high school is like how like the Tongans. It seemed like you guys had a very like a better grasp on the Tongan language than we did as Samoans. Like X mentioned,
Mm.
me and X Relic were probably the two who spoke Samoan most often. I'm sure I'm forgetting some people, but the Tongans, it always seemed like you guys could communicate, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And switch it on and off, even if it might have been broken back in those days or you guys were
Yeah.
just using words. But I always thought it was cool how you guys still used your language like in school and hearing you guys
Yeah.
speak it in school and stuff.
You know what, bro? I think it's just a cultural thing, maybe, or just like a preference. Like
Mm,
maybe that's just the way Tongans were. Because no, it's true. Because like especially like the Catholic Tongans, those
yeah,
those guys are good compared to the like the Mormon Tongans. Because we're more Americanized, like the more
right, right.
Americanized religion. But the like the Sestonga, the Catolikas, and
Uh-huh.
them, they speak like full on like my parents type of like
Yeah,
Tongan.
yeah, yeah.
But that was also interesting to like observe. You know what I mean? Like even today, like I'm trying to better my Tongan. Like I can speak with
Uh,
my mom and dad, like basic, super basic, right?
right, right.
But like speaking like you speak someone, no, I can't. Like I can't do like a five love it. I mean, you
Right,
know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Like
just
no, I can't do that. I can't
Zola,
do that.
don't hey Zola, don't downplay yourself, Woos. At the end of the day, all you gotta and this goes out to everybody out there. Don't Cece, don't downplay yourself, Woos. At the end of the day, hara for Israel. Come on, bro. Come on, who's? Dale.
Get the dude.
Ara!
Yeah. Hey Jake, but like to what X said, yeah,
No way.
it's true.
Yeah,
I've been in the Samoan word since I've been married. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I do get looked on by Tongans, right? Because in the Tongan way, right, you follow the husband wherever the husband
right,
goes, right?
right.
And so like my dad bags on me. He's like, solid boy right here. Hey, you know what I mean? But it's all laughs. But you know what? I'm really glad I'm in the Samoan word because I've learned a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I think that's the other not upper hand, but like more of a head
advantage.
start that I have, right?
Uh,
Because Tongan is really it's similar to Samoan, bro.
yeah.
It's super similar, you know.
Oh, well, here in Vegas, the Tongan branch they have out here,
Mm.
I think you guys visited one time. I don't know if you was there. I
It's
know I
just my
met the,
pops.
Yeah, I
I
was
think the
Not
talking
girls
pops.
were
with
here one
Solo
time.
yesterday. Yeah,
Just
Yeah.
my
he
pops.
went to the
Yeah.
ward out the branch out
And
there.
shout out to the Sunrise Tongan branch out of Sunrise Manor. But they, so they didn't have a piano. I don't know if they still have a piano player, but I would go
Mm.
and play their piano after our ward. And because I served in the Tongan ward in American Samoa, which is another crazy fact, that the Tongans are so organized and community oriented that even in American Samoa they have their own congregations, and not even just Mamonga. They got Methodist, Catholic communities. But anyway, I served in the Tongan wards out there for a few months, and again, a lot of crossover, man. And you start to like connect the dots. Oh, that word means this word, like aso, aho,
Mhm.
little things like
Exactly.
that. And then, so the more I attended the Tongan branch, I realized, man, I, I can understand like 75% of what they're saying, especially in
Mm.
a church context.
Mm.
Language is so familiar. Like at a
Yeah.
Faikava or if we're just they're having the breeze or whatever, it's a little bit harder to follow because obviously they're using different words.
Yeah.
But in a church setting, man, I can follow along just fine. And it's one of those things where it's like, oh, word means this word, or that means word means
Yeah.
that word. But yeah, it's funny how similar our own languages are.
Yeah.
So,
Jake, one of our episodes, I think it was episode 5, we were actually talking about this, and I and
uh,
I was and I was sharing with Aaron and X about this the observations that I see with Samoan
mm,
and Tongan. Like tonight, I see it, right? You know how like fillers, like someone's go
yes,
someone say when the Tongans go masi yeah, tu ko na
yeah,
yeah, they go
yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I mean?
yes,
That's one observation I noticed, right? It's like the A and the E like switch, like Nick is Noka and Tongan's
yeah,
Inoke,
yeah, yeah.
right? What is it? Like manioka and then Tongan's manioke.
Manioke, yeah.
You know,
It's almost
you
like
see
that
what I mean?
Spanish O
Yeah,
and ah for like the male and female, and the
Yeah,
yeah.
transgender. I mean
Hmm.
the male and the female. But what you call it? The fillers. You're right, CC. Dude, that used to
Yeah,
drive me nuts at Samoa, man. It's like
Yeah.
it's a Sunday school lesson or like a pastor, whoever's talking, and you rest on that ah, man. And then I came home and my mom's like, "What? Why you do that all the time?" I said, "What? When you see someone, everything is ah." I said, "Damn, I didn't even notice I picked that up."
So was there
dude.
ever a time where you like you because you did mention something about being in the Tongan culture or being mixed with them? Was there ever a time that you feel like you were like doing A or like adapting to that type of environment? A.
Oh, kinda. I just think it depends on the setting. Like I'm sure I was. I noticed like when you mix like with our Kalapa or whatever, because we got a lot of different guys, Fijian, Tongan, Samoan. Everyone, even if you don't speak your language, everyone just by default kind of takes on that fob accent
Yeah.
when they're talking to each other. Especially the more cut you get, you start
Yeah.
talking just more like a fob.
Yeah. So you
But
over here talking about next minute you're gonna pay for 8 cows so that way you can marry the daughter. I feel you, Oos.
all right, let's edit that one out, guys.
No, that's interesting, Jake. Man, thanks for saying that, man. It's finally cool to like hear Jake's side of it. So
yeah, nah, honey, because that's what we said. That
And
that episode was Jake was probably the perfect person
yeah,
to kind of answer these questions.
yeah.
you know what's interesting about and feel free to tell me when you gotta go. I'm cool, guys. So
Nah,
you
we
guys want to
get
Just
it.
chilling loose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we all
But
get.
Tongan, I noticed that the Tongan, especially like when they transliterate stuff, like they take like names from the Bible or like whatever, like foreign loan words. Tongans translate according to the sound. Huh. So like for example, you take let's say Abraham. They'll say it's Abraham. You say
Mm.
that really fast, it almost sounds like Abraham.
Yeah,
Abraham, Abraham, Abraham. And then you got Abraham. Samoans translate based on the spelling. So Abraham in Samoan is Apiramo. And so what we do is we just take the whatever we letters we have to take out and add whatever letters in to make it sound Samoan. as opposed to making it sound like the original word. So you hear upper almost like it almost sounds like Abraham, but unless you're Samoan, you wouldn't make that connection. But in Tongan, it's like you hear Epalhame. Again, if you say that 5 times fast, it almost sounds like Abraham. So the Tongans tend to translate based on the sound, whereas Samoans will translate based on the spelling of a word. Oh, yeah.
So, like, quick question is, so Michaele,
Yeah.
but then another name, like
Mikaeli?
something like that. It was different.
Yeah.
It's Miguel or something. Nah, just kidding. Yeah, something like that. It's
Yeah.
like, and I was like, what the? I never heard that before. And then like I asked Lo,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for that, and again, like the name, I believe the name Michael in the Bible is Mikaeli. And again, that's another what you call it, example of how we translate based on the spelling. We take that Chael and it becomes Kaeli, even though in English it's called Michael. Huh. But in the Bible, I think the old spelling was that way, Mekaeli, Mekaeli is how
Yeah.
they translate
Yeah.
it. Because when they translated the Bible, there was no Michael. We didn't know that Michael was a common name. But when you move abroad and you hear Michael a lot more, then they just translate it like almost like a shortcut. So instead of using Mikaeli, it's Mikaeli now. 'Cause now we know that Michael is spelled M-I-C da 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 da. So we take that spelling and it's Mikaeli. It's even the same like for example, the name John. We know John is Ioane, but we also use Sionge because it's a shortcut for us. Like it's almost like slang. And then, for example, my grandma used to call her brother John Kyongi because his name was John in English. He wasn't a Ioane, but in order for them to Samoanize it, they would, you know what I mean? They would make it sound Samoan, almost like the Tongan route. So John becomes Kyongi. So that's how you have that. It's like more modern spelling versus like biblical spelling where
That's true, Jake. That's
yeah.
true. Like, man, and even today, like there are like street names and like just random names that like my parents or us just to play around,
Yeah.
mess around and just Tonganize it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. Just
Exactly.
giving directions. Kind of like mess around and just Tonganize that word. Just to be dumb and funny. But that's true though,
But it
what you
also
said,
helps
man.
the language flow, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
try that out, and I've tried it before. You be
yeah.
speaking to someone, like for example, somebody say, "First, oh, the chapel's on Lamson. Or sa Lamson Boulevard." It sounds weird,
yeah,
so
yeah,
you almost have to. Oh, Lamson. I just gotta say it like Bob
mm,
almost to
yeah.
Lemson.
fit in.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Uh,
So, like, how did Millie say this?
Boulevard, kids.
Hey, who's your mic's not even on?
So yeah, no, they just say lampa. That's how they do. You don't even they don't even speak they don't even know how to use their words ABCs correctly. They say like this, lampa. That's it, dude. Nah, but so Jake Frodos, I mean, so we do appreciate you coming on to
Man.
Pack Nation podcast, so for real, and giving your insight and your advice on your experiences, especially diving into the culture. And you shout out to you, Sola being a Makai, and especially getting your Songai Miki done, man. That is definitely a great challenge and super proud. I know myself, and I know I speak for X and Cece, man, definitely grateful and blessed that you're able to achieve that, Sola. So we appreciate you coming on the podcast tonight, man, and enjoying this opportunity with us, man, to speak with us.
Man, definitely. Yeah. Are we wrapping it up, Bruce?
Yeah, I just want to say that.
Yeah. I
he's
say, man,
he's
this
been
is
wanting
fun.
to
So
wrap it up with you, but
No, so because hey, whoa, hold up, Boost. So sometimes they always tell me it's 30-minute little podcast on here. So we've been here for 2 hours now.
yeah,
So,
oh,
We're
yeah,
chilling.
we're good, dude.
Chilling.
whatever screws you guys, man. I'm
Nah, as
but
long
no,
as you're good, Jake.
yeah, shoot. I mean, traveling right now, so
Yeah, man, sounds good.
still,
Because every time I text you, you never text back, so that's why I figured let me just try to get
all
all
right.
my time for the
that's
rest
why I
of the
threw
year.
that's why I
in
threw
here.
that in there for you, so you'd understand, Moose. I threw it in there for you.
You
All
know,
right,
I just
hey,
got to get every conversation I had building up to this moment. Got to get it out before the end of the year.
to the listener out there, we might as well squash this because no, I was telling X the other day. X. I was telling Aaron the other day. It's one of those things where like when you text, I was saying I want to have the time to like sit there and like just be like dedicate the time to go back and forth like what we always do.
Oh yeah.
But then it's like okay, I'll just text it back later. That way I have the time to like dedicate my time to this conversation. Yeah, next minute, 3 days later, 5X.
This guy.
But
Rolling.
I know I'm terrible at that. I'll get better about that someday. But
No worries. And to
And
the listener, I texted myself back on me and Jake's messages. So just to show him what it looks like to kind of go back and forth through text
Hey,
message. But
hey,
when
and
we
to
get
all
to
the
the point where
listeners,
we
he
can,
actually texted me saying me, Jake, me. I was like, oh, Sully, what the heck? Huh?
Hey guys, can I just say I think it's really cool that we're talking about this. Like I think these kind of things need to be talked about and discussed and to like be put out there for the youth, right? It's just something to think about. Like back in the 80s and the 70s, there there weren't much interracial marriages. There weren't Samoan and Tongan. There weren't, right? It was mostly Samoan, Tongan, Tongan, right?
right,
So it was very rare to see an interracial mix compared to today, right?
yeah,
For me, example, I'm married to a Samoan, Filipino, and then you see a lot of Palagi, Mauli, Uli, right? Samoan, it's mixing, right? So
yeah, yeah,
and I feel like that's why it's important, right, to like talk about this because right, like my kids are mixed, super mixed. They're Tongan, Filipino, Samoan, Puerto Rican, blah blah blah, right? And so I do my best to speak to them in Tongan, right? But it's like they don't really grasp it. They understand it, but like to what point are they going to be able to learn how to speak it, right? When I don't speak it every day. But at this
right,
point, it's kind of like depending on like going to church and hopefully they go to like a Samoan or Tongan speaking mission
yeah,
or Filipino. So it's like, and that's what I said. I like that we're like discussing these things to kind of like inspire them and like push them to like,
yeah,
hey man, learn a language.
yeah,
It don't matter if your mom is Samoan or Tongan, learn one of them or learn both. I
right.
don't know. You know what I mean? Just keep one or keep both. I don't know.
right.
So
What
true.
are you guys'
See,
thoughts on that?
I'll tell you the another like experience that I had when I was in elementary is I remember we were in like a circle and we're discussing something about like different cultures and stuff like that. And so the teacher just asked, "Oh, how do you say this in Spanish?" And all the Spanish kids were like, "Da da." I mean, how do you say this in Tagalog? And the Filipino kids, they said, "Oh, how do you say this in Samoan?" I just made up some word on the spot because I had no idea. This is like in maybe like second or third grade. But then I thought, man, if the Mexican kids or Hispanic kids or the Filipino kids can learn their language, then why can't I? And again, so it was one of those things where the light bulb went off, thankfully, and I would start to ask questions and be more interested. But that's so true, because the further removed we are from the islands, I'm talking generations, the more diluted that knowledge of culture gets. And so again, going back to our parents, they experienced everything that the culture had to offer because it was still very deep back in those days. But they can't exactly, a lot of times they don't exactly can't exactly tell you, they can tell you like how we do certain things and what we do during certain things, but they can't often tell you why. It's that explanation that we're missing. So whereas they experienced it, they can they do just fine in dealings of the culture. Then you have us who are like we've seen it too, but again we're further removed from that strong foundation of the culture. So then our knowledge is even less than what our parents had. And then when you get down, like you said, to our kids, we're intermarrying, which is a beautiful thing, especially amongst Polynesian cultures. But it's just important to make sure they have something to hold on to, whether it be language or dancing. That's what I appreciate about dance groups and stuff too, coming
Yeah.
back or at least becoming big now, because that's a great way to learn your culture. If that's the first step to learning the language and learning the customs, then hey, more power to you. But again, that's another example of so many resources out there. Yeah. Go be a part of a dance group, attend the Samoan church or Tongan church, be a part of an organization, or all those things will help your knowledge of culture out.
Yeah, cool, man. That kind of sparked a question that I had, Jake. So with CZ talking about him and his kids and his family, and so with you, Jake, being kind of we're all the same generation, and you speak fluent Samoan, and now you have your kids. So do you speak fluent Samoan to your kids, and do your kids understand fluent Samoan?
Dang. I don't know how I didn't see that question coming. I'm terrible at that, so to be quite honest with you. And I realize that it's selfish to have learned the things that I've been blessed to have learned as far as the culture and not have the energy to pass it on to my kids. My daughter, my oldest daughter, Rennie, she can read. In fact, her and my older son can read Samoan. My son might need a little bit more like correcting when he's reading, but my oldest girl is pretty good. And she's always asking, like, "Oh, when are you going to teach us Samoan? Or what does this word mean? What does that word mean?" I think now that she's been more exposed to like the tattoo world, the tattoo
Hmm.
world that I've been stretching and he gets more curious, and so. But yeah, to answer your question, Luis, I'm terrible at that. So like, I need to be better at speaking the language to my kids. I'll say like little
Right.
phrases to them here and there, like the ones we all
Yeah.
heard growing up, Soia and things like that. But uh, my girl's already what, gonna be 14 this year, man. I don't know where the time went. You always those one of those things like I got time, I got time. Next thing you know,
Right.
they're teenagers, man.
Yeah, yeah. No, and that kind of like I asked because I want to see like if that mindset was similar to like what our parents' mindset was. But
Right, right.
yeah, it was just interesting that
I think I want to say like our parents were more. There was a little bit of that maybe, but I think it was more like go learn English that you can get somewhere in life.
yeah, that's kind of what I thought as
Yeah,
well.
right. But with me, it's definitely because obviously I know my kids always speak English, having grown up here, and my kids speak English, but definitely get too complacent with trying to teach them.
Right, right. Yeah, that's dope. Dope
Yeah, you know.
perspective.
That is a
Oh
dope
yeah.
perspective. I was gonna say, so the one thing that I was gonna say is, I was like, man, I'm over here thinking like, dude, this guy's over here blabbing away about, this. I teaching my kids this. So like, growing up, I was telling my grandma say, hey, I got guy, like she would say all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the mother freaking hell, dude? What's up?
You freaking funny.
Oh,
Blabbing
sorry.
away, you're still over there trying to think of movie references.
No, it's because there's always got to be one of us. Xavier and CC always bring the good comments, the good questions. So I'm just here just for the entertainment. Come on now.
Model.
Man, I have so many questions for you, Jake.
Yeah, for real.
So
Oh, good.
Tutuila, right? Are you like also like are both your parents from Tutuila?
Yeah, so it's funny. I used to say like I'm 100% purebred American Samoa because both my
Yeah.
parents' roots are in Tutuila. But the older I get, you do like family history.
hmm
I do have like close ties to Western Samoa too.
Yeah.
So, but my parents, my grandparents on both sides, and obviously same thing for Aaron, are all Tutuila American Samoa.
Do you have any ties to Upolu?
Yeah, so like my mom's, me and Aaron's mom's dad,
Yeah.
he was adopted and raised by a family in American Samoa, but he's biologically from Vai'e, Safata in Western Samoa. And then
Mhm.
my dad's adopted father, like from birth, he was raised by my grandpa Sefo, is from Salaumua, Western Samoa. So two of my grandpas are, I guess, yeah, two of my grandpas, because I got three sets of grandparents between the adopted and the biological, have roots in Western Samoa.
Okay. So just to have a little relevance to this
Mhm.
episode, I want to state my Samoan lineage too. Well, first I want to state my wife's. My wife, her dad is Fautea. He's a
But yeah,
Saniatu, Saniatu, right? And then on my side, my dad's dad, he's from Upolu,
huh.
Upolu, yeah, Upolu. And the last
Isn't
name,
your dad your grandpa Fumono?
Yeah, Fumaono. So my last name's supposed to be Fumaono, but then
Ah,
he took his dad's first name, which was Amasio,
I
right?
see.
And then Amasio, and it ties back to Fumaono, and it ties back to. Have you heard of the last name Vaimasanu?
Yeah, it's from Alipata in Western Samoa.
They're my family,
I
like
see.
further back down, and I can go further, but I forgot the names. But yeah, Vaimasanu is like before Fumaono,
So
as far as like my
Vaimasanu,
son
funny
was.
enough, is like you know how Samoa does the Fautasi races,
Yeah.
the long boats. One of the prominent female captains is Zita Martel. That's her title, Vaimasanu, but it's from the village of Maile in Alipata, and they have ties to the Mataafa, which is one of the paramount chief in all of Samoa. But yeah, a big title. And then no, too, it has ties to our Satele side. So the title where my title comes from,
Yeah.
and my mom's Satele side in Allah, which funny enough is how we're related to X and Auntie Ruth, is it's what you call it, tied to the Fuimono from Salan side, which
Yeah,
is your family.
I think we're related, bro.
Hi, cousin.
But no, it's so cool, man. Like just like looking into this and seeing that
Mm.
connection. And you know what, Jake? I'm pretty sure you know this is we have ties to Futuna too, and like
Oh yeah.
Futuna and what's the other one? Like Uve.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot of ties to there too.
Yeah.
Like Samoa Tonga and like and Uve. Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of like connections. Yeah.
I was looking into that not too long ago, man. I was
Mm.
fascinated by that because I never really heard too much about Uvea and what you call it, Fortuna growing up.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah, it's
it's
crazy the
Wallace and
similarities.
Futuna. My bad.
Wallace, yeah, Wallace and
Yeah,
Wallace and
and I
Futuna.
think Uvea
Yeah.
is the what you call it, the native name for it.
Yeah.
But Wallace
Yeah.
is like the, you know what I mean? The
The,
Palangi's name, the
yes, the
islands.
colonized
But same
French
thing.
name. Yeah.
This guy's sick color. That's good.
Hey, why you chime in when we talk about colonizers?
Oh, sorry, my bad.
brings
No,
back memories.
because then I realized I'm like I'm half colonization and then I'm half fresh off the boat. So it's my bad. I didn't even interrupt you, bro. My
No,
bad.
it's all good. No, man. Say what you got to say, along.
Oh yeah, yeah. Appreciate your insights, Ale, on all the things Samoan related. But that's
Yeah,
cool, man.
you know me, so I could talk about this boring stuff all day, man.
Oh,
But what was I saying? I had a thought and now it's escaping me. It'll come to me.
all good is. Well, cool. Is there any questions you got along about like the Samoan stuff? I was just gonna get the last subject.
Nah, tell us. I
Mhm.
mean, that's pretty much it. We pretty much hit up all the questions that I said on here on my little notes that I wrote down. So it's cool. I already knew it was gonna be very generic. It was something that I kind of fall back onto, or since Jake's my brother and stuff like that, it was I kind of like already got an understanding of his perspective just because I grew up with the guy. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's kind of fascinating to see you and Cece's perspective or getting your own insight listening from this guy. And it's funny, a lot of people, this is always growing up in our childhood, just to give you a back of where me and Jake come from. But a lot of people always think that Jake, he's the older one. You know what I'm saying? Just because he's so mature. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
lucky
that's
the older
true.
one. I'm
Yeah.
Levale. You know how I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I like to stay down below. Down
Well,
below.
actually, I'm the oldest too, so
Well,
Yeah,
yes,
it's
you are.
older than
You are.
even though your birthday's coming up in a few days, so you're gonna join me up here.
Wait, are you guys
So-
all 90? You guys are all 90,
Yeah.
right? And then next year, July. No, my year, August.
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 And then Jake, when are you, Jake?
No.
I'm the baby of the bunch, so I'm November
November what?
27th.
22nd? 27th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
27th.
Oh, okay. Okay.
How long was a few days? The 13th.
I think
Yeah,
Relic
it
was
was-
August too, right?
Yeah, Relic is the 21st,
Yeah.
and Polo's
That was
the
August too,
30th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Apollo was August too.
Yeah, Polo's the 30th. Then you're the youngest, 27th.
Yeah, dude. I
And
mean,
then,
I was right before that cutoff.
Or even Lua, I think, is October.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, you and Lua were the youngest ones.
Yeah.
Dang, I'm the oldest out of everybody. Frick, dude.
So Jake, you
Yeah.
almost could have been class of
Yeah, so
07, huh?
I think I was right before the. In fact, I think
Yeah.
now it's different.
Could've
Like
been. Yeah,
I think if you had my birthday going to school now, they would make you wait.
you and us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, 09, yeah. Yeah, he
So
would've
what
been
kind
in
of-
my class?
Yeah.
I'm not you
Yeah,
guys.
he could. Yeah.
Should have stayed with me, Jake, man.
What kind of AI intelligence did your parents use to get you into OA class?
Huh?
Sure, what do you say? What kind of
What'd you
AI
say?
did your parents use to get you into the 808 OA classes? You hear what I said?
Yeah,
All right,
I heard
so
what you
thanks for
said.
listening, Pack Nation.
So, you hear what I said? Is?
Yeah, I
So,
don't know what
you
the
hear
hell
me?
you're talking about.
We heard it all
We can
three
hear you,
times
so
you
the-
said it, Deuce.
Actually, all right, go ahead.
The sound is not the problem with that question.
Man, come on, dude.
We
You guys just
heard,
gotta
we
throw it in
what
heard
the hell
there.
the
you
joke
talking
all
about?
3 times, Deuce.
All
He kept saying it like-
right. Just edit it. Just edit that part. Just
Hey,
just
so
edit
the
that part.
X, that was the classic. You guys hear me or?
No. See,
Wait,
this
are
is
you
what I
still
do.
there? Is the
Is I
connection still
make
on?
sure, I make sure that we have clips
Is
to
this
keep
thing
for later.
on?
See, you see that?
Mhm.
Come on, catch on.
Wait,
catch
hold
on.
on, guys. Let me turn my mic on.
Hey, Jake.
Okay, let me try it again. What DNA? Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, do you guys remember the chocolate dip cone from McDonald's?
Dude,
Remember that
How
long?
come
that's
we
back
not?
when
Chocolate
that's
dip
back
cone.
when the ice cream machines used to work.
So
When you used to work the
You
ice
used to
cream
work
machine
there.
over there.
X, that's what I'm about to bring up right now. That's exactly what I'm about to bring up right now.
You
So
were-
when the chocolate dip cone came out, right?
Uh,
Jake, you were working at the McDonald's.
man,
Yeah,
don't
and I
remind
still
me.
remember it was $1.09, bro. And yeah, I just remember seeing you and I was like, oh, okay. And I don't know if you remember, Jake, but like you're like, hey, you probably don't remember this. All right, you probably don't.
Yeah,
but then
They
like
don't.
you're like, all right, man, what do you want, man? Like when you're taking my order, you know what I mean, I was like, what's up, Boost? He's like, okay, what do you want? Hurry up. You probably don't remember that, but I remember that. I was, hey, man, I'm
Hey.
the manager.
So like,
so Cece, you just woke up a dormant memory, you.
For real, bro.
I
Like
do
you
remember
were the
that.
first one to be working over there, like having a real job. It was
Yes.
working at
Shoot.
McDonald's. It was-
Yeah.
Hey, how's about before that? My first job was actually at Pizza Hut, right there. Remember off of Holder and
Okay, dude.
Yeah.
is it Holder and
Oh,
Holden Ball.
Sully?
Holden Ball.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I
Holden
worked there
Ball.
for 2 days, dude. Get this. The second day I went in, this lady's like, all right, this crazy ass Pauline lady called and she's like, all right. I could tell she was on the toilet because the phone sounded like it was far away. It's like, who's this? I don't recognize your voice. I'm like, oh, my name's Jake. I just started. All right, Jake, this is gonna be your first order with you. I want you to get it right. So I didn't know what Canadian bacon was, right? I thought
yeah.
Canadian. I didn't realize that was ham.
It's ham. Yeah.
So she goes, all right, Canadian bacon. So I put in the order. I put bacon on the shit. And then the pizza went out. She called me back like 10 minutes later. Jake, I'm really effing disappointed in you. Dude, I hung up the phone. I walked home. I still had 6 hours left on that shift.
That's
crazy,
dude.
Rolling,
And I ended
man.
up at McDonald's.
I remember too at McDonald's. He said one time, I think we all, like a bunch of us, we all walked in, and like before we even ordered, she just started making the McDoubles, the double cheeseburgers, and then like your manager's like, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you making so many double cheeseburgers?"
Uh-huh.
You're like, "Nah, my family just walked in," and then
So
sure
trust
enough,
me,
can we get 30 double cheeseburgers, please?
we're
And
gonna
he was
need
like, "How did you
we
know?"
need all hands on deck right now.
Oh,
That
it's
was
so
the dollar menu back in the day. It was
Bro, man, shit, those days are
oh,
long gone, huh?
no more dollar menu,
freaking
bro.
guy. All hands
Sometimes
on
I be
deck.
catching myself, man. I'll pull up, be like, "Oh, can I get two McChickens?" And the bill comes like, "Damn, I'm still thinking they're $1.09, like Cece was
Yeah,
saying."
bro.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Back in the days, man.
So that's so funny, man.
Yeah,
A lot of
that
people
was
always think
funny.
about, how that one lady was, she's like, catch me outside. How about that? So they should have caught us outside in the McDonald's. We was trying to get 30 cheeseburgers, dude.
For real, man. We always got a bunch of the dollar menu cheeseburgers. It's just, and this fool Jake was the one that like taught me all the hacks, bro. Like order the double cheeseburger, but put mac sauce on it.
Yeah.
Order a fish fillet, make it a double fish fillet.
Hey,
Extra tartar
we had that
sauce.
down to a science a long time ago.
Yeah, for real, bro. We've been doing that. Now it's legit on the menu, like the double fish fillet.
For real.
It's funny, man.
Hey Jake, have you gone back to that McDonald's lately? It's different, bro.
Yeah, they
Dude,
changed the whole thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
They
Was it the
remodeled
last
it.
time we were in Cali? We went to go eat at Moe's.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, what a sad sight to see, dude. The old school McDonald's
Yeah.
is gone.
Yeah.
It's way different now, man.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Cool, Sole. I think the last thing, we appreciated everything that you've shared with us so far, Sole.
All
I
love, Uso.
appreciate. Yeah, we got a lot of knowledge, the Samoan culture in the community, and we're grateful to be able to partake in some of that. And I think the last thing I wanted to touch on was because you're so talented in this subject is music. You're a great piano player, probably I'll say the best that I know, the best piano player that I know is, and it's always fun to hear you when we go to the ward in Vegas and you just straight playing the music, man, like right after the closing prayer.
No dead
It's
air
a,
over here, Uso.
yeah, for real, man. It's legit. But yeah, Sola, you always one of the best musicians and that I know, and it was funny growing up and being in choir. And we talked about it with Kellos that we would always just have you take our tests because we never wanted to learn the notes. But yeah, it was
Those are the
so I
days,
wanted to
man.
talk a
Shout out
little
to
bit about
Shoes.
music. Oh man, my guy Shoobs, man, that dude hated us. Well, he hated me for sure. He hated me. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about music just because I know that's another one of your passions and talents as well. And I wanted to showcase that. And I know something that you've been working on rather recently is being able to translate the hymns for the
Mm.
Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So the English to Samoan. And so that's something that you've been working on. And we talked a little bit about on the side. And wondering if you can kind of just expand a little bit about that and tell us about your experience so far for the short time that you've been doing it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for the question, man. I mean, I think we talked about it the last time we were all together at your parents' house out there in Vegas, and I just gotten the news that the church had been looking for translators for the new hymnal project. So the LDS Church has come out with this big universal hymnal by 2027, and it's supposed to be whatever page number you go to in Spanish is the same in English and Samoan. We're all going to be singing the same hymn. So pretty exciting times, I guess, for the LDS music scene. But they put the call out for people who they're looking for translators, and so like I talked to you about X, that's like the crossroads of like all my passions, man, music and Samoan and things like that. So I've been doing it now for I want to say coming up on a year, I think. Or no, yeah, it'll be a year at the end of the year. But for those who don't know, the Samoan hymnal in 1994 was changed, and they were at the time they were trying to match the translations more closely word for word. And so it left us with this hymn book now that we've been using for over 30 years, again, since 1994, that a lot of them don't make sense. There's a lot of grammatical issues with them. You can never take something from English, especially in a musical setting, and translate it word for word. It's either because we're what's called a text gain language. So if you take something in English, for example, I want to eat. Well, I don't know. That's not a good one because it's just as short in Samoan. But there are certain phrases that when you translate them, we add a whole bunch of more letters and particles and stuff like that. So it's been cool being part of that because a part of that project is we're bringing back a lot of the old, replacing this 1994 version with a lot of the old school hymns. Now, the cool thing about that is back in those days, we had OGs of like the Samoan church, LDS church, who translated, and they were very much inspired with the way they translated. They would get a hymn, they would be given like the overview about what this hymn is talking about, and just left to their artistic devices, and they came up with some of the most beautiful translations, musical translations in the Samoan language, even to this day. In fact, because we don't use that 1965 version anymore, a lot of the hymns are being used by other churches now. And so with this project, I get to oversee the bringing back a lot of those original hymns because I'm the official title is Language Office Representative for the Samoan Language Office over this hymnal project. But yeah, like, again, it's like a culmination of all my passions, Samoan culture, my faith, my language, I mean, music. And so it's really cool to be able to be a part of this, but also it provides for my family. It's part of my livelihood now because I work for the church. And yeah, it's amazing to see the process. Like now that I've been doing, they call it transcreation, right? So they give us an English hymn and they say, don't translate it word for word, but whatever's being taught in this hymn, make it beautiful in your language. And so I've already got the chance to translate like over 50 of the new hymns that are coming out. 10 of them will be coming out in January, the advanced release batch for some of the hymns that I had the opportunity to translate, like Come Thou Fountain of Every Blessing
Oh, dang, yeah,
and
that's a dope one.
Amazing Grace. So a lot of big ones there. His Eye is on the Sparrow. I had the opportunity to translate and they were very well received within the community. So I'm looking forward to
Man, I can't
but the
wait.
goal was always to make those translations, the new ones, as beautiful as those original translations and how inspired they were by those OGs who did those translations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Again, it's everything I ever dreamed of and more. So, and I'll be excited to see our people singing the hymns. Because one thing that's gone by the wayside with when we shifted from those beautiful hymns to word for word hymns that are real clunky and just grammatically all over the place, people aren't as enthusiastic anymore when they sing. And you might have seen that, especially in like Samoan words now. Growing up, man, we sang very like with gusto, and he had those old lady screechy voices, but they fit in perfectly with the way our people used to sing. Now, if you hear a screechy old lady, it tends to stand out because we just don't sing as emphatically anymore. That's because in the LDS church, anyway, we lost the beauty of a lot of those hymns. So, being that we're bringing back a lot of the old ones, I'm hoping it brings back, it revives that spirit of singing that once was in the LDS church. But yeah, good stuff, Uso.
Yeah, that's dope, Soleil. Man, that's exciting. Those are good hymns too that you named, and so I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to seeing the translation. And is it gonna have your name on there too, Soleil? Like at the bottom?
they were going back and forth about that. Like I told them, I don't need my like a lot of us would say
No, yeah,
we don't need the
no. Put your
recognition.
name on there. Put your name.
But they might have like because in the old hymn book they did that. They would
All
put the
right.
English poser and then they would put the translator. So I think they're still deciding on that, but they might have like if anything, they'll have like translators' names in the back of the book somewhere,
Yeah.
giving credit.
All right, that's dope. And so I guess one request is to change the Love at Home back to the old one
Oh
as
man,
well.
you already know it, Uso. Yeah, I can't say too much, but things are definitely in the works. Uso.
Yeah, yeah. So like, it's funny on my farewell, like we sang all the old hymns. Just printed it. I had you printed in the
I
program
put in
so
the
that we
program,
could
Uso.
sing
That's
all
right.
the old ones instead of like the new version of those hymns.
That's really the only time you hear that kind of like that forceful singing that we're so used to, man, is
Yeah.
when we sing the old familiar ones rather than
And
the
even
newer
didn't they
versions.
change Secret Prayer too?
Oh
They
yeah,
changed
that
that one?
one's all over the place now.
Oh no, yeah.
So
Change both of those back.
I just did a review of that one because that's part of my job too. They have me reviewing all the hymns and doing hair and stuff. So that's definitely one of the old favorites that's coming back too.
Yeah. Man, that's dope. I was proud of you for that, man. Thanks. Soleil, I mean, can you stop making us proud, Soleil? I mean, everything you're doing.
Hey Jake, I just want to say, like, thinking back to the beginning of this, right, of this episode, and you talking about how you weren't really into the sports scene, and that it just didn't really catch your interest, and you were more into like you like the linguistics and like Samoan. Being a member of the church, we believe in like what preordination and like destiny. Man, honestly, just throughout this whole evening, like when you piece a puzzle together, I, you were obviously meant to do this. You were trained up like
Man,
through like your whole life, from like when you were young to now, to do this, to
that's a
right
beautiful sentiment.
for
Also,
the church, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just like my observation that I have on like this evening. And man,
yeah,
that's beautiful.
it is, and I appreciate you for saying that. Also,
Yeah,
I feel like I'm grateful that the certain things that we learn having grown up, especially our patriarchal blessing, serve as that roadmap. But I'm a big believer in that also, and I've seen like things that have happened in my life, and I can even recognize that like in other like my brothers and things. Everything has, if you really take a good look and just analyze the way that things have played out in your life, at least for me, all roads led to what I'm doing now in life and what makes me happy. And so, yeah, totally. I think we all had coming here. It's a matter of finding that. And I feel like mine was connecting with my culture and just making sure that that culture doesn't die as long as I can help it.
beautiful, man. Make
But
emotional and shit, cuz.
hey, so like Jake, you know what's crazy is I was telling Devin this the other day, is a lot of a lot of those that watch this episode, so there's and they might agree with me too, because in my age, we're young, but I still got like an older kind of mindset where I watch old videos. So like,
Yeah,
but I
for
was telling
sure.
Devin, I was telling my wife this is that you're like the younger version of Bekelo and Sumeos on some real shit, bro. That's what you is,
Mm.
bro.
Look
You
at this
because
guy.
you're able to have good vocabulary with English, and then you're also able to explain that in Samoan and go back to English so the people that don't understand Samoan can understand the culture. So like, and I think that's phenomenal, dude. You know, so that's
Appreciate that.
really
Also.
really blessings on you, brother. For real, man. Grateful that you're able to take the old lady's advice, and at least one of us was to able to take that for sure, because I definitely did not take that route. So you know what I'm saying, dog? But so like, we just want to know, so that we definitely appreciate you coming on the podcast, and
Thank you for
welcome,
having me, man. This has been
yeah,
fun,
so
guys.
and just know that we love you, brother, for real. So
Solid. Love you, Usos. Hey, what you said earlier, Us, I mean, man, yeah, sometimes I do get tired of making you guys proud, but I'm the only one who didn't get the good looks, so I guess I got to do something to make up for it. But
Nah,
but no,
it's
this has
all
been
good.
super fun. It was, I look forward to joining you guys in the future and just talking all kinds of different topics, man.
Hey,
Cool to
Jake,
speak
sorry,
to
one
Breeze with
one
those.
one last request, Jake.
Go for it, Us.
Can you close off in a like 5 more? Or just say something? I don't know, like a closing.
Yeah, yeah, give a little thank you, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, be ia ne mano e mo le toile nga whaftai le sunga te te prokolamba le uso ia arona ia whapefo e sunga le kopo ma Paulo mau foi o foi do custo. Ia ka ko fanga inga nge fiafi ia mai e foi fa mo mo le nga mo kupulanga mai o lalo va la mfenga fa fonga mai ka ko lo kala men nge fiafi le nga ia e ka kam fai e fa o lo pe ka ko ngu ka wai ia ia mangu kere ka ko prokolama ia fa mo foi o le a mo le va mo ka ko fika pa e skemi o lo manga isi foi o prokolama o fa wa inga pea Ia skalaku lea mo le ngā whaalalo mawira suga le kopo, mawira suga kai kai ia mo le uso ia sisi vanga suga le whairo kusi, so I fuma I mawira.
Hey, that's what they say. Ah, oh, sorry. My bad.
No, thanks, Jake, man.
Yeah,
That was
thank
that
you.
was dope,
Aloha
bro. That was dope.
Yeah, no. Nah, as long as the one Meuli guy that comes with the palangis.
So they all
Hey,
day.
Solid, they almost took you out. This in the first episode. I said, damn, man. Even in the Hawaiian movie, the black guy gonna get killed first. Sheesh. And then Kayana saved it. Malo Kayana.
Hey,
I gotta jump off Usos, but Solid, let me know if it'd be fun to jump on with you guys. Just
yeah, that'd be dope, Sully. We'd love to have you
current
on, man.
events, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'll
Love
be
you,
dope.
Usos.
Love you, Uso.
Aloha.
Thanks for joining us, Sully.
Paco,
Hi,
what?
brother.
You.
How's it? All right, Big Goose.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was good, man. Yeah.
Very,
Very, very refreshing.
How's?
Very refreshing episode tonight. I felt
Hey,
it was
I'm
really
glad,
good.
man. I'm glad that you almost got emotional too, Sully.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost did because yeah, it's true, bro. Like, think about it. Jay could have played sport. He could have known this, but he didn't.
Yeah.
He stuck with culture, and look what it let him now. He's translating the songs in church.
It's funny.
That's
Yus,
insane.
I told Devin too. I was like, low key, babe. Like, I was like, hey, Jake, he's very smart. I was like, and he knows about the
Smart.
culture. I was like, hey, but now it's like people are starting to see how funny he is because he could throw just like so. Like X, like he can throw just like us, who's even though we don't speak Samoan, so but think about this. I always tell is like if I spoke Samoan, I'd probably be more funnier because I could translate in Samoan and then translate back to English. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like with Jake, it's like he has the upper hand, who's because like he could just do both and then make the palangis laugh, who's like bring in people like as if he's like a host every day.
Right.
I don't know how much Samoan you speak. I don't know how like or like on well, how do you say this? Like on the metric, like how much
Yeah.
do you know? But I don't know. When you speak, it sounds like you know a lot to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I would say from our group, and correct me if I'm wrong, Longa, but because you've learned a lot since our high school days. But from high school, of course, it was Jake that spoke the most, then Kella, then Alonga. And then after that, it was like, I would say, I guess I would put myself forth just because I learned a lot from these guys and I would try to practice. And then after that, it was like nobody else really tried.
Yeah.
No, I had to agree too. Because I can remember Kella speaking Samoan all the time, Moose in the house.
Yeah.
Like when he walk around or when 16 would call him or his dad. It's always Samoan. See, like, but with me and Jake, we didn't grow up that way. It was where if the old lady speaks Samoan, we call it in English.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But like with Jake, he was so devoted to learning the Samoan language that it's like the old lady already knew it was just the right thing to do for him. Me, I was like, man, I just want to chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, so exactly. I agree with you now. So let's see. So you were gonna say something, my bad.
Yeah, after tell you to my sama le ne afiafi matongo fie o te fie fafte atu to I don't know what I'm saying.
Let's go, dude.
I don't know.
Let's go.
I'm just mocking what I hear in church.
Kami missionary si ang singbahan sin Jesus. Oh shoot, that's Tagalog. My bad. Let me go back to Tongan. So my bad. Just kidding. So no, but that's cool though. I mean, that's pretty dope though.
Hey, but did it make sense what I said?
Yeah, no, hell yeah. I mean, freaking, I feel like I'm pretty good, especially as my wife is from Samoa too. And I want to, cause I have to say I'm 80% fluent.
Yeah.
Cause there's also that 20% where my mind still has to process things. And I don't know if he's ever knows what I'm talking about, where you're still trying to, even though you know the word, but you can't figure it out. So then you have to ask somebody and then you say, that's the freaking word. And it's like, damn, I already knew that. I just couldn't get it off that. So when I speak, Goose, most of the time it's like, even though I know it's in my head and I can't say it, it doesn't come out. Just because it's not a everyday lifestyle.
Right. Yeah. No, that's how it was in Spanish, bro. You get to like different levels as you continue to learn the language. So it's really like in your thought process and everything.
If I can tell you guys, like my Tongan is I can speak my own dad fluently. like full on conversation. Like that's my fluent. But like I want to get to like how Jake is in Samoan.
Mm.
Like speak because my brother Tony, right? Steve, my brother, he's
Mhm.
already doing the stuff in Tongan.
Yeah,
He's a bishop.
He's a bishop.
So like at funerals when they say like the I don't know, like the final remarks, like he
Mhm.
knows how to say it in Tongan already, but only because my mom taught him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so he's been texting me, hey man, you need to learn this because eventually us brothers we're gonna have to speak for like our family.
Yeah, sure.
He's like, learn this, read this. It'll be good to know because my older brother, Tane,
Yeah.
he's not technically he's like the highest in the family, but
Big
he
John, shout out
appoints
to Big John, man.
yeah, but he appoints me and my brother to speak on his behalf.
Hmm.
So my brother told me, hey, you and I need to learn this, learn it. I'm not, but when I get a chance, I read it. But anyways, my point is like, I don't know, man. It's just everyone should learn their language. You know what I mean? Like try. I mean,
Yeah,
just give it a
of
shot.
course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well, what's
That's
there
true.
to lose?
Yeah.
that's
Don't
crazy.
listen to the haters.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
So let's
Yeah.
send a shout out to your Usos, man, to your brothers, man. It's freaking Steve and Tanis. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
I ain't gonna say Us
Boy.
because I've known you since you obviously you're younger, but so your two brothers, Zeus, the older ones, them are probably two of the most humble I know, bro.
Yeah.
Super humble, bro. Incredible.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
man.
you might think differently.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the language, bro. It's cool, man. I like this journey. Like we can even do it together. Like I told X, man, let's learn it together, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'll call you and be like, hey, Shirley, Ofia, oi, eh, Kaele? I don't know.
Ole a uilu ile faluila.
But nah, man, great episode today.
That was a good video.
Alofa kele akuso.
Sorry. Ole fa kele fo ia o luariga.
Eh,
So for reals, thanks again for another Sunday podcast. That was dope. All right, dudes. Hey guys, I'm Aaron. Thank you for tuning to another podcast with Pack Nation Podcast. I'm your boy Aaron.
Max.
and I'm CC.
Hey, tune into us on the next one, man, and we hope you see you again.
Peace out.